Dear all, good morning. Let we start our the today topic access nomenclature of robot and manipulator and gripper of robot. Today objective is access nomenclature, manipulator and the gripper. Access nomenclature of the robot. Basically, first we will understand what is the axis. Axis is we have one coordinate system having the three axes x, y, and z, and is a rotational axis about the x, y, and z. Okay, here we completely understand what is the axis first, and then we understand the axis nomenclature of robot. Okay, industrial robot structure divided in two equal parts: the body and arm also called as a end effector. For the control the robot speed and easy to control it, it has six axes. For the controlling of robot and easy to control the robot, the motion, it has six axis called as coordinate system. Each and every joint axis or the coordinate system is displayed on each joint of the robot. Axis is set to show the movement of the gripper starting from the end of the robot. This is called axis nomenclature. Axis nomenclature means we plot the axis on every joint. We plot axis on every joint starting from the base to the end of the gripper. As shown in figure, we will completely understand what is the axis in industrial robot. Robot has 6 degree of freedom at every joint. Robot has 6 degree of freedom at every joint. If this is one joint, this is one joint, it has 3 linear axis like that, and 3 the rotary motion with respect to x, y, and z. So total degree of freedom of the any joint is 6. Don't be confused what is the total number of axes, and don't be confused what is the total degree of freedom. Degree of freedom is a difference and the axis is different. Okay, each and every axis has 6 degree of freedom. So here I write the robot has 6 degree of freedom at every joint because we show the each and every joint has a axis. Okay, here I show one figure of the robot. To determine the axis in each joint first, let me start the axis determine from the base to end of the gripper. So base is here. Here one joint. Joint has the rotary motion. Okay, so there are the rotary motion or the linear motion. So there is one axis. So this is the center line as a axis. One axis. Okay. Each and every joint has 6 degree of freedom. From the 6 degree of freedom, the first joint use the 1 degree of freedom. Third degree of freedom is the rotary motion. Now we go to the second joint. We move upward. Here the second joint. This is the second axis. And the second axis, the motion is the rotary motion. Now we go to the third joint, next joint. Here the next joint. This is the third axis. We go to the move upward. Here no joint. So we move again. Then here one joint. See, here one joint. Here this joint moves like this, the rotation movement. So it has one axis. Now move to again here this motion occurred. So this object move up and down, up and down, up and down. So it has also one axis, then move again. The last part of this the robot arm, it's, it has a the rotary motion. It has a the rotary motion. So it has also one axis. So count, please count total how many axes in this robot. The first axis 1, the second axis 2, third axis 3, fourth axis 4, fifth and 6. It has total 6 axes. So this robot called as 6-axis robot. And when we calculate the mathematical formulation, each and every joint has a coordinate system. So it need x, y and z coordinate. So we place x, y and z first here. For the first joint, x1, y1 and z1. For the second joint, x2, y2 and z2. Now go to the third joint, the x2, x3, y3 and z3. Okay, so here one question is there. This x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 and x3, y3, z3 calculate from whom or calculate from where? From which point calculate the x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 and x3, y3, z3? Okay, so it has coordinate system such as the coordinate system having two types of coordinate system, the world coordinate system and tool coordinate system. See here, there are two types of coordinate system, the world coordinate system and the tool coordinate system. This is the robot. The robot base coordinate, the x1, y1, z1 is here. The last coordinate x2, y2, z2 is here. Okay. So from the base, I have one fixed point. So I use this base coordinate, and this tool coordinate is not a fixed. It moving in space. It move like in this direction, or in this direction. So the last point coordinate x, y and z, I prepare with reference to this base coordinate. Apart from base x, apart from base y, apart from base z. Okay. Or in this condition, the world coordinate system is apart from the robot. It is fixed in any one point of the whole system of robot or the one point of our assembly or our industry. Okay. Any confusion at this point?
No, sir.
Next, we will move to proceed. Basic robot motion. Basic robot motion is what? For any configuration or the design of a robot, the task of the robot is to complete the task given to it. Robot need a task, we need the robot complete it. And for that, end effector is attached to the end of the robot arm. The basic motion of the basic motion of the robot arm that can move the end effector according to gradually motion or the position is into 6 type. Which 6 type of motion are there? So 6 type of motion are there. It means our 3 axis x, y and z move in the linear motion. So the one one જે vertical travels, one radial travels, and the one the rotational travels. These three motion classified under the motion body arm and our end effector called as wrist. Wrist मतलब આપણું કાંડું, આપણા હાથનું કાંડું, એને wrist કહીએ. જે આપણે wrist watch બોલીએ છીએ, wrist watch આપણે પહેરીએ એને wrist બોલીએ. તો આપણું કાંડું, કાંડાથી આગળનો જે ભાગ રહ્યો આંગળીઓ અને palm. So as in the robot, this type of finger and palm attachment at that. This palm and finger move or the motion in which type? So it has three type of motion, wrist motion: the roll, pitch, and yaw. The roll, pitch, and yaw. Roll means the rotation, pitch means the linear, and yaw means also the linear. Okay. So let's we see what is the roll, pitch, and yaw in the end effector. Here, one figure, wrist motion. So wrist motion is what? Just a check here. I line this green line. So up to this green line, the robot arm. This portion is a special attachment for the completing our task. Okay. Suppose we use this motion. Suppose we use this task, this part for the completing our task. At that time, three axes are there, X, Y, and Z, but this end effector work in rotary motion. See here, Z axis rotary, Y axis rotary, and X axis rotary. So this X, Y, and Z axis rotary motion called as roll, pitch, and yaw respectively. The x-axis rotary motion called as roll, y-axis rotary motion called as pitch, and z-axis rotary motion as yaw. Please let us explain with our hand. Please take your left hand. Left hand move in this direction. Which type of motion occur? Yo-yo, honey, singer. Yo-yo type as a motion are there. Yo-yo type motion are there. So the z-axis rotary motion called as yaw. This finger move upward, right, and downward. Call someone come here. Like a motion meaning call someone come here. Okay. So this motion called as pitch motion. This motion called as pitch motion. Then the third motion is a roll motion. Roll motion is how occurred in our hand to grip one ball or to grip any pen and rotate your palm or finger. It's rotate about 30 to 40 degree in clockwise or the in anti-clockwise direction. Not a rotate, fully rotation, because of some of type constraint are there in our hand. In our hand constraint are there, but in the motor there are no the constraint. So it motion called as the roll motion. It's move rotation continuously in anti-clockwise or in clockwise direction. So third motion in our hand like this. Okay. So this is a most IMP question. Explain the wrist motion. Explain the wrist motion. Explain the end effector motion. Like that. So you explain your role and pitch in detail with figure of this one. Draw this figure in your book. Okay, complete this figure. Draw in your book. Please draw the figure. ફિગર ડ્રો કરજો ભલે તમે સ્નેપશોટ લઈ લીધો હોય તો બી ફિગર ડ્રો કરજો. Okay, let's move the next point. The manipulator. So what is a manipulator? So the manipulator of an industrial robot is a collection of mechanical linkage connected by joint. So please say me, in this robot, what is a manipulator? આ રોબોટમાં મેનિપ્યુલેટર કોને કહેવાશે પ્લીઝ? આ રોબોટમાં મેનિપ્યુલેટર કોને કહેવાશે? તો લિંકેજ જોઈન્ટ. Wow, this is one link, this is second link, third link, fourth link, five link. આ જે બધી link છે, that all link are connected with each other with the joint. So this all part without the end effector called as the manipulator. એન્ડ ઇફેક્ટર વગરનો રોબોટનો જે પાર્ટ રહ્યો આખો ભાગ એને આપણે મેનિપ્યુલેટર કહીએ. There are different type and size of the joint and link. In the market, there are the different types of size. Why different types of size? Because we need the different task. We have a different space. So the then manufacturer done with all types of our requirement. So in the market, there are different size of joint and links are there. The joints are sometimes referred to as axes are generally of two types. We already understand which type of joint. So there are prismatic joint and rotary joint. The prismatic joint and the rotary joint. Prismatic joint called as the linear motion and the rotary joint called as the rotation movement. The robot manipulator contains three structural elements: the arm, wrist, and the end effector. The robot manipulator contains three main structural elements: the arm, the wrist, and the end effector. This is arm. This is called wrist. And this is the end effector. Basic three-stage structural element. The green one is the arm, blue one is the wrist, and the red one is the our end effector. This all joint and links work with hydraulic, pneumatic, and the electrical actuator. Actuator is one type of the motor. Without motor, we cannot complete our work. So, this type of actuator contain at every the mechanical member or the joint, the hydraulic, pneumatic, and the electric actuator. The actuators are coupled to mechanical member. Actuators are coupled to mechanical member either directly by the using gear, chain, belt, or the indirectly using lead screw, harmonic wave, gear like that. Directly or indirectly, they are joined with the mechanical members. The manipulator, in the robot language, the manipulator is the whole body arm without the end effect. Have you any question in the manipulator?
No, sir.
the end effector or the gripper. At the hand of the human arm, there is hand and the finger. Similarly, at the free end of the robot arm, there is a component called end effector. In our body arm, the end of the arm having the palm and finger, the palm and finger we use for the work, for eating, for writing, for cycling, for gripping, like that. The end effector is expected to perform the task normally performed by the palm and finger arrangement of the human hand. The robot end effector designed for the perform the task which task performed by human hand. The palm and finger work is what? Palm sense any object. If we put ice cube in our palm, then feel the iceness. If we put red coal, मतलब कोलसो गरम जो મૂકી દઈએ palm માં, so I feel hotness. So like this hotness and the coldness sensed by our palm, so these sensible or the sensors are arranged in the palm and the finger are worked as per the data received from the controller. The end effector is expected to perform the task as a human hand. Please clear this point in your mind. These are usually customized specific tasks to perform the different end effector are designed for the different types of function. In the market, there are various types of end effector. Why? Because we need the various tasks to complete by the robot. Some of robot used for security, some of robot used in the medical condition, some of robot used in the army for the diffuse explosive materials. So for this type of various tasks we have, so we need various types of gripper are also. End effector fall into two major categories, the gripper and the tool. End effectors fall in two major categories, the grippers and the tools. The gripper work to grip. The gripper hold any object or grip any object are the work part that are moved by the robot for the purposes such as the picking part from conveyor. Very clearly fit in your mind, there are gripper and tools attached at end fingers. So grippers are end effectors used to hold object. So gripper means to grip any object. The object are the work part that are moved by the robots for purpose such as picking parts from conveyor and arranging parts in pallet and loading unloading condition, handling of the cartons, bottles and raw materials, etc. In big industry, there are robot work, but sometimes those robots work as a gripping purpose or the moving material purpose. So at this condition, those all the robot end effector called as gripper. But we need the welding. We need the welding by the robot. At that time, which type of tool we attach at the end of end effector? We attach the welding gun, electrode, then inert gases bottle, the nozzle. Like this, all tool we attach at the end effector. At that time, this robot perform one the manufacturing product or the material add or the material remove. So this end effector or the gripper called as a tool. The tool are end effector designed to perform some work on the part rather than merely grasping it. Such applications include spot welding gun, spray painting gun, arc welding gun, and the grinding wheel. This is some application to be performed by robot in our industries. There are various types of gripper used in our industries. The first gripper is a mechanical gripper. Second is a vacuum gripper, the magnetic gripper, and the adhesive gripper. This basic five type of classification or the five types of gripper are used in the industry. Up to this point, you have any question? So, first is the mechanical gripper. This figure contains the mechanical link joints are there. So this is the part of the mechanical material joint with two bolt with this link, with this link, this link, this link, this link. This the gripper called as a mechanical gripper. Why? So the mechanical gripper uses the mechanical fingers activated by a simple mechanism to grasp any object. In between these two fingers, we can hold one bottle like this. If we need hold one ball, also grip it. If we need small pen, then it possible to hold by this gripper? No. At that time, I need change this design. We need some then different link and the different joint. And if we change this design for this pen, then the new gripper are available in the market. But those all gripper called as a mechanical gripper because these all gripper finger are run with the motor. અત્યારે જે મિકેનિકલ ગ્રીપર ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં જ્યાં જ્યાં રોબોટ વપરાય છે ત્યાં સૌથી વધારે યુઝ થાય છે કેમ કારણ કે મેં તમને અહીંયા કીધું કે જ્યારે બોલ પકડવો છે તો આની અંદર પકડી જાય છે પણ પેન પકડવી છે તો નથી પકડાતી સો as per the workpiece we can change our jaw. Okay, here the new word jaw. Jaw means this finger called as a jaw in the robotic language. આ જોને આપણે એઝ પર અવર વર્ક આપણે ચેન્જ કરી શકીએ અત્યારે આપણને બે જ ફિંગર બતાવી છે બે જ જો બતાવ્યા છે એને આપણે ચેન્જ કરીને 5 બી કરી શકીએ 3 બી કરી શકીએ 2 બી કરી શકીએ So like this jaw gripper we can change as per our requirement. In industry there are lots of time mechanical gripper available like a cam follower gripper, like a screw type as a gripper, power screw type gripper, like a rack and pinion type gripper. So this all types of gripper called as a mechanical gripper. Any doubt in mechanical gripper? Okay. This is the vacuum gripper. Why we use or design the vacuum gripper? Chalo, let I explain. This glass is made from the glass material. This glass is made from the glass material. If this finger holds that glass, then what occurs? જો આ finger એ જે glass ને પકડે તો શું થાય?
બ્રેક થઈ જશે ગ્લાસ.
Glass break થઈ જાય, બધું પાણી બહાર પડી જાય. તો હવે ગ્લાસ આપણે પકડાવો તો રોબોટ એન્ડ માટે ત્યારે મિકેનિકલ ગ્રીપર જ હતા. તો એની માટે આપણી રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ બદલાઈ ગઈ તો આપણા ગ્રીપરની ડિઝાઇન બદલાઈ ગઈ. આજે ગ્રીપરની ડિઝાઇનમાં શું આવ્યું? વેક્યુમ ટાઈપ ગ્રીપર આયા. આ બોલ આવ્યો અહીંયા, જે વેક્યુમ બોલ એ એકવાર એની ઉપર પ્રેસ થશે, ગ્લાસ ઉપર પ્રેસ થશે, દેન આ જે પાર્ટ છે અહીંયા એરને સક કરી લેશે. બધી એર અહીંથી સક થઈ ગઈ એટલે અહીંયા અહીંયા શું ક્રિએટ થાય? વેક્યુમ ક્રિએટ થયું. વેક્યુમ ક્રિએટ થાય એટલે કોઈ બી પાર્ટને પુલ કરી શકે છે. કોઈ બી પાર્ટને પુલ કરી શકે છે. આ એક એક્ઝામ્પલ ગ્લાસનું આપ્યું છે, એક એક્ઝામ્પલ ડેમ્પ સ્પ્રિંગનું આપેલું છે જે આપણે બાઇક્સમાં યુઝ થાય છે. So this is the vacuum gripper. Third one is a magnetic gripper. If we need to hold and pick the engine from the ground floor to the 5 feet height, then possible with the two finger mechanical robot? Not possible because those type of finger not designed for the heavy load. In this condition, we create robot and magnetic finger are there. So this is the magnetic finger. When this finger hold the object and turn the magnetic effect on, at that time they pick the heavy duty load. This type of one condition we also see in the industry. In the industry, there are overhead crane. In the industry, there are overhead crane, and from that overhead crane, one chain downward and upward for the lifting the part. In some of industry, some of work by the carry a load, so there are hook. And in some of industry, the small part does not carry by hook, so it contains a magnetic part like this. આપણે જોયેલું હોય ક્યાંય તો યાદ આવી જશે ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીની અંદર. ઓકે, તો આ છે મેગ્નેટિક ટાઈપ ગ્રીપર. આના જગ્યાએ જે મેગ્નેટિક ગ્રીપર છે ત્યાં તમે ચેન્જ કરી નાખો એડહેસિવ ટેપ ઓર ધ એડહેસિવ મટીરિયલ, મતલબ ગ્લુ ટાઈપ. તો એ જે શું કામ કરશે કે ગ્લુ આપણે કંઈ બી અટેચ કરીને પીક કરાવવું હોય તો કેટલા વેઇટ નું કરાવવું પડે? ગ્લુ થી 10 કિલો વજન ઉપાડી શકાય? ના ઉપાડી શકાય. ગ્લુ થી 5 કિલો ના ઉપાડી શકાય. ગ્લુ થી શું ઉપાડી શકાય? તો ગ્લુ થી સ્મોલ પેપર, લો વેઇટ અને પાર્ટિકલ. So these all type of low weight particle we can carry by the adhesive gripper. Every time this is a very expensive gripper because every time we use when the one part peak and drop, then we need the fresh adhesive material on our end of gripper. Every time we need fresh adhesive material on end of our gripper. So for the continuous process, there are lots of adhesive material required, and then this type of adhesive material not used in industry. This type of adhesive gripper called as a special purpose gripper. Okay, then thank you. Now the question answer session. If you have any question in this point, then speak loudly. કોઈ બોલતા નહીં એનો મતલબ એવો થાય કે આખા લેક્ચરની બધી જ ખબર પડી ગઈ અથવા તો આખા લેક્ચરમાં કંઈ ખબર ના પડી.
ના સર ખ્યાલ તો આવ્યું. ગ્રીપર એટલે શું કહેવાય?
ને સરસ, તો હવે તૈયારી કરવાની હો.
હા હા કરશું.
ઓકે સર.
ઓકે, ઘરે રહીને
ઓકે.
અત્યારે તૈયારી કરવાની. સરસ. હા,
હા કરશું.
okay, so we end here our lecture. Thank you.